press the right mouse button to open fire. Hello everyone, and today I'll be talking about the A10 Warthog and Roblox Blackhawk Rescue Mission 5. The Fairchild Republic A10 Thunderbolt 2 is a single-seat, twin-turbofan, straight-wing subsonic attack aircraft developed by Fairchild Republic for the United States Air Force. This thing entered service in 1976. The A10 fills in the role for close air support, which means that it helps troops on the ground if they need air support. Its main and only armament is the Gowade Avenger mounted in the front here that fires larger 30mm ammunition. The ammunition also explodes on impact with the target, meaning that it's very effective against infantry, vehicles, and aircraft, like helicopters. You can also shoot down other A10 pilots with this, well, in a free private server. Anyways, I'm gonna start up the A10. Alright, so to start up the A10, flip the battery, inverter, and APU switch. APU stands for Auxiliary Power Unit. Turn on your CICU. Flip all of the other switches, but do not flip the fuel test and lamp test switch. Once you flip all the switches, you will no longer have to flip any other switches. The A10 will now spool up, and the RPM gauge and the APU EGT gauge will do a thing, and you just have to monitor these two gauges until they stabilize. Once both gauges stabilize, you are clear to turn on your, start up your left or right engines. Press the K button, the K key on your keyboard to turn on your left engine, and the L key on your keyboard to turn on your right engine. So I'm going to start with my left engine. If it says L, it's for the left engine, and if it says R, it's for the right engine. So just like with the RPM gauge and the APU EGT gauge, you just gotta wait until these gauges stabilize. Just gotta watch them. Once the RPM gauge stabilizes, like that, you may turn on your other engine. So to turn on your right engine, press L. Again, once the RPM gauge stabilizes, you are cleared to take off. And just like that, all your gauges are stabilized, and you are now cleared to take off. But before we take off, I'm going to explain to you the different instruments in the cockpit. So over here in the middle is your flight stick. The flight stick helps you maneuver in the air. Over here is your throttle. Press space to increase your throttle, which increases your speed and increases power to the aircraft. If you press left shift, it does the exact opposite, reducing your speed and reducing your power. Anyways, over here is your compass. It tells you which direction you're heading. This is your landing gear indicator. All green means that the wheels are down, and no green means that the wheels have been pulled up. Make sure that it's all green when you're trying to land. Over here is your artificial horizon. Blue represents the sky, brown represents the ground. This is your missile control. This is currently inoperable since there are no missiles on the A10, just the Gowade Avenger. Over here is your virtual map. It gives a partial view of the island, and these structures over here our Fisherman's Shore. Over here is our heads-up display. This green circle is the crosshair for the Galway Avenger. To fire the Galway Avenger, press your right mouse button. Over here is your altimeter. It measures how high in the air you are. We are currently about 67 feet. This is your airspeed indicator. It measures how fast you're going. Top speed is 400 knots. Required takeoff speed is 200 knots. And stalling speed is 150 knots. So with that out of the way, press H to close your canopy. And press space once to move forward. So we will be using runway 27 right, and we will be taxiing on runway Alpha. Just follow this path here I'm taking. And once you reach the end of the runway here, make a turn until you reach runway 27 right. Once you reach runway 27 right, tap the spacebar about 4 to 5 times, until you reach 200 knots. You need about 200 knots minimum in order to take off. Once you reach 200 knots, press S to pull up, and press G to retract your landing gear. To pull up, press S. To pull down, press W. To roll to the right, press D. And to roll to your left, press A. In order to make a turn, you can combine the A and D keys with the S key in order to make said turn. For example, I'm just going to press D until I'm on my side here, and I'm going to press S. Now I'm going to do it with the A key, and I'm going to press S as well. And that's how you turn. So, I'm now going to teach you on how to perform a strafing run. Step 1 is to head straight for your target. Make sure you're aligned with said target area. Once you get close enough, that was just a test fire. Once you get close enough, pull up by pressing S. Just head straight up until you reach a minimum of 3,000 feet. Once you reach 3,000 feet, you may reduce your speed and head back down. Like that. The next step is to align your crosshair with the intended target area and press the right mouse button to open fire. If in the event you don't see any green tracers coming out of the barrel, repeat the previous steps. Just try to do another strafing run until you see green tracers coming out of the A10. Now I'm gonna choose a different target area to just as another example on how to perform a gun run. I'm gonna turn on my night vision real quick. That's an aircraft carrier over there. Alright. Step 1. Alright, just to recap. First step is to get close to your target. Once you get close enough, pull up. Reach a minimum of 3,000 feet. Once you reach 3,000 feet, just head back down. Like this. Next step is to align your crosshair with the intended target. And once aligned, open fire. Now that's a lot of damage. And that's how you perform a strafing run. Also, your character will not be affected by gravity while flying, which means your character will not experience blackouts, redouts, or G-lock. To perform a landing, step 1 is to align yourself with the nearest available runway. Step 2 is to reduce your speed. And the next step is to deploy your landing gear. As I have said earlier, all green means that landing gear is down. Next step is to touch down. Once you touch down, head to the nearest available hangar and check for damages. So that's gonna be it for this video. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.